Steelers' offense shows signs of improvement. After 3 weeks of the season, the Pittsburgh Steelers' offense is beginning to demonstrate notable progress. However, despite this forward momentum, there remains a glaring deficiency that continues to hinder their performance on the field. A glimpse of growth. In recent games, the Steelers have shown flashes of potential. The offensive line is starting to gel, providing quarterback Kenny Pickett with better protection. This improvement has allowed the young signal caller to develop a rhythm, facilitating more effective passing and creating opportunities for the running game. However, these advancements are still overshadowed by a critical shortcoming: the inability to finish plays. The team has repeatedly found itself in advantageous positions, only to falter when it matters most. Too often, promising drives stall in the red zone, leaving points on the table and frustrating both players and fans alike. The missing instinct. The most concerning aspect of the offense is its struggle to capitalize on key moments. Whether it's a dropped pass or a missed block, the Steelers have struggled to maintain the necessary focus and intensity to convert opportunities into touchdowns. This lack of finishing instinct becomes even more evident during high-pressure situations where decisive plays are paramount. Head coach Mike Tomlin has emphasized the need for execution, urging his players to harness their potential and turn progress into tangible results. While the team is making strides, the inability to seize crucial moments remains a significant barrier to their success. Looking ahead, as the Steelers prepare for upcoming matchups, the focus will be on refining their approach and instilling a mindset geared toward finishing drives. Improvement is evident, but to truly compete at a high level, the offense must develop the killer instinct needed to close out games and solidify their standing in the league. With the right adjustments and continued growth, the Steelers can look to transform their potential into performance, bridging the gap between promise and execution. The next few weeks will be critical for the offense as they strive to cultivate that essential quality that has eluded them thus far. After the 3 games of the 2025 NFL season, the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting at 2-1, with wins over the New York Jets and New England Patriots. Aaron Rodgers and company fell short against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 2, but momentum has swung back in their favor ahead of a trip overseas to take on the Carson Wentz-led Minnesota Vikings. Along with the challenge of playing overseas in Dublin, Ireland, dealing with jet lag, and simply being out of place in a different country, the Steelers' defense might have its hands full with a Viking squad that's coming off a 48-point performance against the Cincinnati Bengals. One player who will play a major role in trying to slow down the Minnesota offense will be superstar T.J. Watt. The one-time Defensive Player of the Year has already racked up 2 sacks and a forced fumble ahead of the clash with the Vikings. T.J. Watt ready to face resurgent Carson Wentz. During the Steelers' media availability on Monday, Watt was asked about what stands out when it comes to Wentz. A mobile guy, Watt said of Wentz. Obviously, he has above-the-neck smarts.
He's been doing it for a while.
He has a very lively arm. He can throw any throw he wants. Top guy for a reason when he was doing his best. It'll be a challenge. With J.J. McCarthy ruled out for the 2nd straight week due to an ankle injury, Wentz gets the call after a solid performance against the Bengals. The former number 2 overall pick threw for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Vikings proceeded to crush Cincinnati, 48-10. Obviously, that kind of success from Wentz might change, with Watt chasing him around every play. Aaron Rodgers getting the job done for Steelers. Rodgers' stint with the Steelers started with a bang, as he threw for 4 touchdowns against his old team, which turned many heads, with some believing the 4-time NFL MVP might be past his prime after his time in New York. In Week 2, Rodgers regressed a bit after a spectacular debut. The veteran quarterback threw 2 interceptions against the Seahawks and struggled to get the offense going with a completion percentage of 54.6. Fortunately for Pittsburgh, Rodgers had a bounce-back game in Week 3 against the Patriots despite throwing for only 136 yards. The superstar signal caller threw touchdowns and 1 interception while leading the team to its 2nd win of the 2025 campaign, giving the team some much-needed momentum heading to Ireland against a Vikings team that might have figured something out in Week 3. As of right now, the Vikings are slightly favored against the Steelers at -2.5. These spreads constantly fluctuate over the course of the week due to injuries that pop up and other factors, so there's a chance this swings the other way. But as of now, Rodgers and company are the underdogs for this matchup across the pond. When Brian Flores filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against the NFL in February 2022, Mike Tomlin offered a lifeline. Flores left the Pittsburgh Steelers after one season to become the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, and he will meet up with Tomlin and some of his former players Sunday when the teams play in Dublin. Tomlin still isn't sure why Flores was out of work when he hired the former Miami Dolphins coach 3.5 years ago. "I thought he did a successful job of it the first time around," Tomlin said Tuesday at his weekly news conference. Flores was fired after going 24-25 in 3 seasons with the Dolphins. In his third year, Miami started 1-7 but won 8 of its final 9 games to finish 9-8. Less than a month after he was let go, Flores filed a class action suit, alleging discrimination in the league's hiring of minority coaches and executives. The lawsuit remains unresolved. Tomlin hired Flores to coach linebackers and be a senior defensive assistant, and he wasn't surprised that Minnesota's Kevin O'Connell hired him as defensive coordinator after the 2022 season. "His willingness to learn is a really attractive component of Coach Flores," Tomlin said. "We had some awesome discussions during our time together. He certainly has opinions, schematic opinions, strategic opinions, personnel opinions. His openness to different thoughts and viewpoints is a weapon for him as a coach." Under Flores' guidance, the Vikings rank 6th in total defense and are number 3 defending the pass. The Vikings lead the NFL with 7 forced fumbles and are coming off a game in which they held the Cincinnati Bengals to 10 points. The 2-1 Vikings have allowed 18.7 points per game through 3 weeks after ranking 5th in the NFL last year at 19.5 ppg. Although Tomlin is familiar with Flores' coaching style, he said, "It doesn't make the preparation process or playing against it any less difficult. He's very multiple in his schemes and thoughtful. He attacks protections from a passing game perspective and does it very well." Highsmith out. Nick Herbig will make his second consecutive start at outside linebacker Sunday. He will replace Alex Highsmith, who was ruled out Tuesday by Tomlin with a high ankle sprain. Herbig subbed for Highsmith in the Steelers' 21-14 victory last Sunday at New England and had a crucial strip sack that represented the 5th takeaway and set up the winning touchdown drive. Herbig led the Steelers with 4 quarterback hits in the game. Tomlin said cornerback Joey Porter Jr. and strong safety Deshaun Elliott could return. Each player has missed the past 2 games because of injury after being hurt in the opener. Cornerback Darius Slay could miss practice time because of a leg contusion he sustained against New England. Tomlin, though, expects Slay to play against the Vikings. Seeing red. For all the offensive issues the Steelers had against New England, they were perfect when driving inside the Patriots' 20. The Steelers got touchdowns all 3 times they penetrated the red zone. Through 3 weeks, the Steelers have gotten touchdowns on 7 of 8 trips inside the 20. They're second in the NFL with an 87.5 success rate. "I love the way we're operating in the red zone offensively," Tomlin said. "You need that. You need to kick extra points as opposed to field goals. I like our overall trajectory there. We're spreading the ball around to a lot of people." Tomlin credited the turnaround to several factors, one being 4-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. He also said the Steelers are more accustomed to Arthur Smith's system in his second season as offensive coordinator. "We have some new unique tools," Tomlin said. Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Darius Slay is dealing with a leg contusion, according to head coach Mike Tomlin. During his timeout, James Pierre came into the football game in relief of him. It is not expected to sideline Slay at all. He also had a shoulder issue that limited him early last week. He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal to be the Steelers' second cornerback, and so far, he has performed admirably throughout the first 2 games, including as a tackler. Joey Porter Jr. is questionable to play against the Vikings, a hamstring injury, meaning that the Steelers could be short at cornerback yet again. The Vikings have a deep wide receiver core led by Justin Jefferson, but have others like Jordan Addison and Adam Thielen who can step up to make multiple plays across from him. Slay, 34, can likely practice less and end up going out there to play given Tomlin's philosophy on injury time. It is likely that the star cornerback will be okay and ready to play against the Vikings despite being banged up.